First rounds, PX4 Storm. Let's be fair and decock it. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Tiberious back again with another review. Today we are taking a look at the Beretta PX4 Storm Subcompact. This particular Beretta is on loan from my brother-in-law. Thank you very, very much, brother-in-law. So the PX4 Storm series of pistols have been out for about 10 years or so. They come in a couple different calibers and a couple different sizes. They have a full size, a compact, and this one here is the subcompact. Like most families of pistols, you can take the magazines from the larger full size or compact and use those in the subcompact. So you could carry the subcompact with the magazine it comes with and rock the larger capacity for a backup if you choose to. One of the differences between this PX4 and the other ones is the compact and the full size have a rotating barrel design, while this one has a tilting barrel design. That's one of the few differences, obviously, besides the size between the three pistols. Like I said a minute ago, these things have been out for roughly 10 years or so, and I definitely think it's about time Beretta does like a Gen 2 or an upgrade on them. They're not bad pistols at all, but a lot of things that are important to us now in our pistols was not overly important 10 years ago. So I'd love to see this with some sort of an optic cut and maybe an improved, more aggressive polymer grip. As always, let's start at the bottom and we can work our way up. The magazine and the magazine capacity is one of the best things about this little gun. It holds 13+1 in a subcompact, which is very, very good. Most subcompacts this size, like a Glock 26, are only holding 10 rounds. I know there's some newer ones like the 365 that have changed that, but most guns like this are still 10 rounders, and this one being 13 is excellent. It does come with a second magazine that I don't have here. On the second magazine at the bottom, there's a little tab that folds out and it gives you a little bit more of a grip. Most people, your pinky will stay on there instead of falling off like it does on the flush fit magazine. Now the grip on these pistols are pretty slick. There's a lot of slick polymer that doesn't have any texture on them. It is textured where it matters in the back and in the front here. Let's get my camera to focus on it before I move on the front and the back. And it does come with 3 different back straps in this nice black plastic lockable case. It gives you 3 different size back straps for your hands, but I would, again, on the future generations, like to see all of this area, especially up here and here, be a little bit more textured. Not a huge deal. That's something that could easily be fixed with a set of Talon grips. So at first I thought the magazine release was going to be too small. It is a very small button. Once I got it to the range and started doing some magazine exchanges, it's not bad at all. As you can see, the magazines fly out of the gun. They do a great job there. It is reversible for you lefties, and it isn't in a position where it's almost impossible with my hands to ride that magazine release. It's just in a very good spot. So it is a smaller magazine release, but it's not bad at all. Let me compare it to this frame I have sitting here. This is a P365 frame. There's your magazine release on the P365, and here it is on the PX4 Storm. Again, I don't think it's bad, but it's definitely a very small button. Your trigger. Your trigger's long. It is very long. So there's not much take up until you get some resistance, just a tiny bit, and then you stop pulling, pull. It's probably somewhere 11-12 pounds if I had to guess. And then your reset. There's your reset. Now our single action, there's a lot of take up without any resistance. And then once we get to that wall, it breaks right there. The single action trigger is probably 5-6 pounds, 6.5, somewhere in that area. But let me show you this double action. No, let me show you this double action trigger again. Right there, you stop pulling, and it is a heavy trigger. So again, make sure if you're going to buy this gun, or really any double action, single action gun, you practice a lot with that double action trigger compared to the single action trigger, so your first shot doesn't go low and your second shot doesn't go high. Make sure you practice. In the front here, on both sides, you do have these little memory notches, these little cutouts. On this side for my trigger finger, it lines up pretty much perfect, and it's a great indexing point for my trigger. On this side, my hands don't quite reach. My thumb is on that takedown lever there, but it is there. If you have some monster hands, your hands will line up. But either way, I do like those little memory notches just as a reminder. Out on the front of this gun, it does have a small rail. It is a single cutout rail. It is, like I said, a little on the small side. The only two lights that I think that might work with it is going to be the O-Light Micro and the Streamlight TLR6. Hopefully one day I can convince Inforce to make a micro compact light for these micro compact guns. You wish me some luck. The slide now, there's quite a bit going on the slide. The lever on the back here is not only a safety, but it's also a decocker. It's ambi, it's the same size on both sides of the gun. So if you have it cocked, the hammer cocked to the rear, and you pull down, it sends the hammer forward to bring you back into double action mode. And down is when the safety is on. When you want the safety off, you flip it up, and then you see the red is dead. That's when the safety's off. So it's the opposite of 1911 or something like that. So if you're going to carry a gun like this, I highly suggest, again, you practice with every gun, but you practice this. You draw out, you defeat that safety, double action shot, couple single action shots, decock, leave the gun on safe, obviously, holster, draw, defeat that safety, double action, couple single action, and just do that over and over and over so you get used to defeating that safety up. And double action, single action, the differences in the triggers. The slide does have front and rear slide serrations that are pretty good. It's not the easiest slide to rack. If someone has grip strength problems, might not be the right pistol for them, but it does have front and rear serrations. These sights, I'll roll in a picture here of the sights. They are a white set of 3-dot sights. They're not luminescent or anything like that, I don't believe. Now you can swap these out for night sights if you want, but the ones that come on there are fine, nice set of sights. It kind of has a ledge in the front. It has a ramp there, but in the front it has a little flat ledge that you can kind of like. It worked. Not the best ledge, but it will work for one-handed manipulations. Back on this side of the gun, we do have our slide release back here and our takedown lever in front of it. While the slide release lever isn't huge, it does have a nice little ledge on the top that makes it pretty easy to release that slide. I used it that way quite a bit. If it was any larger than that, based on the location, I think most people would ride and push that slide release up, which obviously you don't want to do. Taking the gun apart, this is the takedown lever. Obviously make sure the gun is unloaded, which I already did. Lock the slide to the rear, and then this takedown lever, we're just gonna slide it down. Let me face it to do it. And then after you slide it down, we're just gonna pull it to the rear, take that out. There's your release there. Send the slide forward. Now we have our frame and our slide. Your recoil spring is captured on the polymer guide rod. It is a dual captured recoil spring. And then your barrel, you're gonna laugh at me for this one, but it's a 3-inch barrel. When I took it out the first time, I said, oh, the barrel's so cute. It's a bull barrel in the front, has a nice recessed crown, has a flare to it, so the lockup's pretty good. And that's how you field strip the gun, as simple as that. Let me show you how to put it back together, just in case you don't know. The barrel goes in first, the exact opposite order. We're gonna put our guide rod in next. That goes in. Slide the slide back on the frame, lock the slide to the rear, and then I'll put that little takedown lever in it. Why I do this, take a look at the dimensions. The length of the pistol is 6.2 inches long. The width is 1.4, height 4.9, and the weight unloaded is 26 ounces. So it is very, very similar to a Glock 26 size gun. I apologize, I don't have a Glock 26. I do have a much better gun. I have a VP9 SK. So let's compare these two. They are extremely similar in size. So as far as the height, you can't even see the VP9 SK back there. It is almost identical. Now as far as length, the VP9 SK is slightly longer in the muzzle. If you see the muzzle of the VP9 SK, slightly longer, but your width almost the same, your height almost the same. So if you're familiar with a Glock 26 or VP9 SK, the Beretta is pretty much the same size. The one thing I just noticed, holding this Beretta in this chunky grip and then grabbing the VP9 SK, the grip is so much better on it. It's thinner, it feels good. I do love the Talon grips. I have Talon grips on almost all my guns. It feels fantastic. Now the VP9 SK, to be fair, does only have a 10 round capacity, so it's not the best capacity. I was going to compare it to my P365. But my slide is out being milled, so I can't show that to you, unfortunately. My 365 has the regular 365 slide with the XL grip, so it has a bigger grip with a 12 round capacity. Let's talk about some pros. Three biggest pros I have for this gun is going to be shootability, reliability, and capacity. Shootability, it shoots a lot better than most subcompact guns. At first I was a little hesitant with the way it shot because I don't shoot a lot of double action, single action guns. I shoot mostly striker fired guns. But after 100 rounds or so, I got very comfortable with it and it shoots really, really nice. As far as reliability, these guns have a great reputation of being very, very reliable shooters, and that's probably the most important thing. The full-size version of this gun is used all over the world by different militaries and police departments, and they have a very, very good track record. Now, as far as capacity, I think this is the biggest win for this gun. Most guns this size, like I said, the Glock 26, the VP9 SK, a lot of them take 10 rounds. Now I know the P365 and the Hellcat are smaller and hold more rounds, but guns this size, to have a 13+1 is a very, very good capacity, and like most guns, you can use the larger magazines from the compact or the full size if you want to. Now as far as cons, I do have a couple cons. I think just overall it would really, really benefit Beretta to come out with a newer, updated Gen 2 version of that, and it will fix a lot of the cons that most people are going to have with the gun just because how old it is. So for example, that optics cut, that's a big one. Every gun now, in my opinion, should come optics ready in some fashion. I'd love to see an upgraded grip, something with better texture. For me, the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0, best grip texture on the market. I love that type of grip. And then more than anything else, I would love to see Beretta smooth out and maybe lighten up this trigger a little. I understand it's a safety thing, but man, that trigger is very, 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 very long. Last but not least, we always talk about uses. Common sense, this is a concealed carry EDC type gun. Of course, you could bring it to the range. Of course, you could use it for home defense, especially using those larger capacity magazines from the big brother of this particular gun. But 90% of the people who buy a gun like this, I'm going to assume they're going to use it for concealed carry. Before I let you go, let me thank my brother-in-law one more time. Very, very nice of him to let me borrow this pistol for a review so I could show it to all of you folks. If you folks are looking to support the channel, there is a ton of different ways you can do it. Just a quick like or a comment goes really, really far and really, really helps me out. If you want to see what reviews I'm coming out with next, consider subscribing to the channel. This way you will hopefully get notified when I come out with a new video. If you would like to know what those videos are in real time, consider following me on Instagram and Facebook. The link to both of those are down in the video description, and I always post what reviews I'm working on and what's coming out in the future. Now we do have two channel sponsors. One is M2 Tactical Solutions, who makes the nicest Kydex gear in the game, in my opinion. Second is Howling Beard Company. They make the nicest beard products in the beard game, in my opinion. Discount code for both of them are Tiberious, in caps, and both will save you 10%. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.